Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube page. Week 12 again here in the NFL. Just want to go through some of the point spreads and over-under lines for this week's games. As we know that's information people out there need to know. We'll just go through, tell you what the point spread and over-under opened up at, and what we're seeing from various sports books and Vegas books as well, as far as where the line has gone throughout the week. A lot of people find that to be useful information as they plan their wagers for the upcoming week. We'll start with the 1 o'clock games. We'll start with Oakland traveling to Cincinnati. This line opened up as minus 7.5 for Cincinnati with the 49 over-under total. Since then, we're seeing it anywhere from 7.5 to 9.5 points, with most of them coming in at the 9.5 side for Cincinnati. So again, we're seeing minus 9 to 9.5 for Cincinnati, and the over/under seems to be pretty consistent at 50.5 for this game. The second game, Pittsburgh traveling to Cleveland. This game actually started off as a pick'em, and the over/under was 34.5 to start, due to the obviously Roethlisberger not playing. But since then, the line has moved. We're seeing either Pittsburgh favored by 1 or 2 points, depending on where you look. So again, Pittsburgh minus 1 or minus 2. And we're seeing the over/under very consistent at either 34 or 34.5 for the Pittsburgh Cleveland game. Third game on the slate here, Buffalo traveling to Indianapolis. This line opened up at Indianapolis minus 3 at the beginning of the week, with an over/under of 52.5, and every book that we can see still has it at minus 3, Indianapolis, with a 51 to 51.5 point over/under. Next game, Denver traveling to Kansas City. This game opened up as an 11.5 point spread. Denver minus 11.5 with a 44 point over/under. Since then, spreads come down a bit. We're seeing 10 or 10.5 virtually everywhere, and the over/under has come down a tick as well. Pretty consistent at that 43 number. So again, that's Denver traveling to Kansas City. Minus 10, 43 over/under. Looks like where that'll settle. Next, Tennessee versus Jacksonville. Opened up at minus 3, 43.5 over/under. This spread has increased a little bit. Tennessee was minus 3 to start. It has increased to minus 3.5 to even minus 4 in some places we've seen. And the over/under is pretty consistent at 44.5 or 45, depending on where you look. The Minnesota-Chicago game, not many books have a line on this game because Cutler just got cleared to play later in the afternoon yesterday. But ones we are seeing have the Bears between minus 6 and minus 7. We know that's a big difference, obviously. If you bet on NFL football, minus 6 and minus 7, but that's what we're seeing, and a very limited number of books have a lineup for that game from what we can see. Atlanta-Tampa. Atlanta traveling to division rival Tampa Bay. This game started off as a pick'em beginning of the week. Since then, we've seen some movement in the line, where Atlanta is minus 1 to minus 1.5 in most places we're looking. The over/under has also come up from the opening line. The over/under sitting now anywhere between 51 and 52 from what we can see. Seattle and Miami, the last of the 1 o'clock games. Game opened up as a minus 1, Seattle favored by 1 with a 38 point over/under. Seattle since has, the public obviously likes Seattle because they've been bumped up, and most of the lines we see are now Seattle minus 3, and the over/under has stayed pretty consistent between 37.5 and 38 for the Seattle-Miami game. The 4 o'clock games, there's 3 of them. First one, Baltimore traveling to San Diego. This game started off with Baltimore, the opening line, Baltimore -1, and a 47-point over/under. Since then, we've seen some fluctuations in the line. We've seen everything from Baltimore -1 to San Diego -1 to Pick'em. So anywhere in that vicinity there, pretty consistent across the board in that game. And the over/under has pretty much stayed at that 47 number as well for a total. San Francisco, New Orleans, very important 4 o'clock game. The announcing of Colin Kaepernick as starter seems like it's enhanced the public's confidence in them, which I find interesting. But the game started off as a pick'em, and now everywhere that I can see, San Francisco's installed as either from a 1 point to even some places a 2-point favorite, and the over/under pretty consistently now between 49.5 and 50 as we look across all the different books. The last 4 o'clock game, St. Louis playing Arizona. Arizona was installed as a 1-point favorite at the beginning of the week. 37.5 over/under. Since then, the line has stayed relatively the same. We are seeing 1.5 in some places. Anywhere between 1 and 2 we're seeing overall, but pretty consistent between 1 and 1.5. Arizona -1 to 1.5 in their game against St. Louis. And lastly, the nightcap tonight, the Sunday night football game, the Green Bay Packers and the New York Giants. The line started off with the Giants -1 with a 49.5 over/under. We've actually seen the public on the Giants a little bit, because in most places we see this line has jumped to -3, and the over/under pretty consistent between 51 and 51.5 for your Sunday night football game between the Packers and the Giants. And that's just a quick rundown of your NFL odds for a Week 12, and good luck today.